following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer, at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, July 22nd, 2021.
Oh, do you need a seat too?
I guess already.
You know. Our attorneys.
Oh, okay. A team of them, oh my God.
They tax team. Anyway.
We'll call this meeting to order. You'll join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Got an invocation from everybody?
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for the rains that we've been getting, and please send us more that we might break this drought. And Lord, help us in our deliberations that we might remember those most in need among us, and that we may come to just and fair resolutions to the problems that were brought before us. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. I'll have the roll call.
Mayor Robertson,
Present.
Councilman Plingus, Councilman Carson,
Here.
Councilman Steer,
Here.
Councilman Allward,
President.
Councilwoman Williams Harper,
Present.
City Clerk Lee, City Treasurer, HR Director Trask, City Attorney Cahoon,
Here.
City Attorney Manueli,
Here.
Public Works Supervisor Crickcraft, City Building Official Walker, City Engineer Alberg, City Fire Chief Stork, and that's all.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to item 2, public comment. Please state your name for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my son and I just came to request that the council potentially look into the feasibility of continuing the sidewalk down Campton Avenue here in town with the funds we are receiving from, I think it's the COVID relief items. If that is something that may be an option for those funds, I think it would be a great way to protect all the pedestrians that I see on that street.
Could you state your name for the record?
Sure, my name is Matea Harold.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Bill Wolf, and I'm here as part of the tree board, but also as a private citizen, because I've been coming before the city council for a variety of number of reasons since 1995, for crying out loud. And I understand that one of the items on the agenda tonight is discussing the performance of city staff, and I just want to say that, and I hope Mr. Allworth doesn't take offense to this, but the staff you have right now is among the best you've ever had, and so any discussion you have regarding their performance, I am absolutely impressed with how they perform in the interest of the city and the community. So there you go.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor, I've tried for approximately 19 to 20 times to get a permit to rectify a notice of abatement on one of my properties. I have been to RPC meetings, county commission meetings, even city council meetings, as well as numerous attempts at City Hall to get the permit. He allowed the community choir to temporarily repair the Centennial building with no contractor, no permit, no licensed handyman, only volunteers or members. I want the same consideration. I want equal protection under the law. If the building inspector will not issue a permit, then the city council needs to step forward and issue that for me. Stop the discrimination, let me proceed. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 7C5, you're to consider the approval to terminate the contract with City Attorney Manueli, and on 7C6, here to consider the appointment of Mr. Leo Cahoon and the determination of a salary. When did the city advertise for the open position? You did not. What is going on here? A good old boys club? You need to follow the established protocol. The city needs to advertise the open position, and then when you have qualified people, then you make the appointment. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 7C7, you are to consider drafting an ordinance regulating the hours that parks are open to the public. Why are you limiting access to the, why are you limiting access when the council just endorsed a plan for the Broadbent Park that would include more activities? Are you creating a citywide curfew? Let me remind you that you have a fair amount of people under the age of 21 that have nowhere else to go. I don't want them out causing vandalism. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda items 7C, 8, and 9, you're to conduct an annual performance evaluation of the city clerk and city treasurer. I want to remind you that little or nothing has been done in regards to numerous concerns that I have brought before the council. Failure to address ADA concerns, failure to correct billing errors, failure to bring utility buildings back to City Hall, failure to have the education and experience required for the positions, failure to address proper maintenance and oversight over the armory, costing the taxpayers $86,000 or more, failure to apply and enforce city codes equally and fairly, giving all citizens equal protection under the law. You're not doing that. They are not doing that. There should be no action until they can fulfill the position properly, which they cannot. We need to halt the good old boy mentality and advertise those positions that require the proper education and experience mandated by any city code. Those individuals are causing the citizens, the taxpayers, undue stress.
Thank you, Gordon. Any other public comment?
I'd like to, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to insist that Mr. Chatchis, when he's given up here, during public comment, that he wears a mask and all that coughing. Is that COVID? Is that cold? Is it allergies? We need to have that, at least the face mask on.
Noted. Thank you. We'll move on to item 3 here.
I was fine till I came in
Mayor
here.
discussion for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. I'll entertain a motion on this if there are no corrections or adjustments to the agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion approved from Councilman Spear. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Carson. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes. Item 4, City Department reports. We'll start with the fire chief.
Just got one short, quick update. You guys know that we had to send Rescue 6 back to Salt Lake, and we ended up, that fuel problem that we had with the county, so, you know, we were the first ones to get it, so it ended up getting into the fuel system on that. And Larry H. Miller Ford quoted us that it needs a whole new fuel system, to the tune of like $8,400. So we did right now. They got Jeanette get a PO. We got to get it fixed no matter what. But I've been working with Bill Calderwood, and we're going to get with the fuel company and go with them, try and get it turned into their insurance, get us reimbursed for that thing, because it's went all the way through the system. It's got rust in the system and everything else. So they're aware of it, and I've been with Bill Calderwood. So I'm waiting on another letter from Larry H. Miller Ford to get a little more in-depth detail, and then we'll go to the fuel company. And other than that, that's it, unless anybody has questions.
You have to have one firefighter still on workers' comp, but I know we're into a new budget year, and look at the financials, you know, I mean, how's your overtime gonna be impacted as long as this man's off?
Well, we got to cover every one of those shifts, and like Coach Net, we're kind of at a, you know, we're kind of under the gun with SIS, because they're making, you know, they're at the thing now, it's like, the latest they had is gonna go see a doctor again this Friday, the 24th. So, until they run their course of everything that State Industrial's doing, we're kind of at their mercy, you know. Because they're gonna do all their things, and then if it comes down to in the end that he's gonna have surgery, then we got that much time on top of it, so.
Yeah,
There's definitely something about the budget for. We did put extra, when we did budgeting, if you remember right, we put in extra money in the budget basically to have some for to use for its training. So I've kind of told the guys already, just on the fact of them being gone, and the other guys had a couple of military leaves that probably that money's gonna be consumed in this and then not be available for training opportunities, so.
Good, you answered my own question.
So that's only option we got at that point.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Police chief is absent today, getting ready for the sheriff's conference here tonight. Municipal court judge. Judge Costa, do you have anything that you
Members
want
of the council, I want to report that we've had successful integration of Mr. Cahoon as part of the city attorney's staff. Since you made that adjustment, things are going very well. It does give us more flexibility in scheduling. Good news all around that way. And the balance of the normal report to the state has been included in supplemental materials. If you have any questions, I would be happy to take that.
Any questions from the council? Go ahead.
Judge, this is Jim. Got a question, I don't know if you're gonna be in the meeting the whole time, but on item 7, when we were discussing possible change of ordinance for park hours, and there's a clause in there about violations. Would that be handled in muni court if there is a violation and penalties and fines and so forth?
Yes, sir. While that would normally be something to take to the city attorney, I can tell you that all the municipal ordinances in any Nevada city are charged in the local municipal court.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
Thank you,
questions?
sir.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see, we are down on the city attorney.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. City clerk.
So I continue to manage 63 complaints that my office has received this year, so we're up a bit from last month. To date, we've sent 53 letters, received 35 responses, and 24 property owners have complied. I submitted the city's grant application, and it's under consideration. I paid the class fees to participate in the second day of the Nevada Municipal Clerks Association Academy on Tuesday. And the courses that day included 2020 election cycle challenges, changes in the NRS affecting elections, and common election violations and how to address them.
Any questions for the clerk?
Have you got any notice yet when
Speaking of like,
you got a notice yet when the state treasurer's will come, or give us a kind of a,
we haven't heard from Zach Conan's office.
you were talking about them come over and talk about some of the ability to spend COVID.
I haven't received any correspondence from Treasurer Conine yet about the date he would like.
Okay.
I provided him a schedule.
City treasurer.
On the treasurer's side, I have been encouraging the departments that are looking for vehicles to get started on. We kind of got, last fiscal year, we tried, and with the shortage, they weren't able to get it, so I am kind of cutting that loose on the guys to go ahead and look for the vehicles. The Public Works Director has found his and should be here next week. On the HR side, I am scheduling interviews next week in hopes to fill the landfill position and the wastewater treatment plant service worker position. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. City Public Works Supervisor.
I don't got nothing. Question.
Any questions for Supervisor Craighead? City Water Operator, you have their report. City Engineer.
We got some our CDBG stuff together for this upcoming rounds coming here. As Jennifer expressed before, we got to actually do some internal studies within the areas of these projects to see if they meet the LMI requirements. And so we got some stuff together so Jennifer could continue on and deal with rural water and getting those studies taken care of. We completed a landfill permit. We're just packaging it up. That should go out tomorrow. to get that thing taken care of. That's an air quality permit for the landfill that needs renewal. We dealt with some railroad issues. They got some grant funding, so we did some requests for them on some right-of-way issues in their sewer down there. And we also received, along with that project, 60% set of plans on that we'll go through and mark up some comments based on how that's interfering with our city roadways and utilities and such. And we're continuing, the city hired a summer intern that's still out there collecting GIS things. And so at this point, like I said, I think he's doing a great job. He continues to collect and get more and more. He was coming in and just yesterday gave some more sheets because he collected everything on the sheets he just gave us. So that's going good.
Any questions for the city engineer? Okay, thanks. City building official.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. How's your education coming along? I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. We need to move along. I need to have an update on that. Thank you.
At the last meeting, I said I was going to be scheduling it and taking it this month, so it's probably going to be next Friday.
Okay, and then that's for which license or?
The B1 residential inspector.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Any other questions? Thank you.
With that, we'll move on to item 5, reports. And we'll start with Councilwoman Jerry.
Still learning.
Councilman Owens.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor, but I do want to disclose that I was a past member of the Ely Fire Department for 36 years. I went and acted November 18, 2019. And any decision I make in this room is on betterment for the goodness of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman's report. Councilman Carr.
No report.
Councilman Marcus. Okay. I don't have anything additionally to report there either, so we'll move on to item 6, items for discussion and possible action of the Ely City Council as recommended by the Municipal Utility Board. Item 1, Board Member City Engineer Almberg, discussion for possible action, acceptance and final change order approval of Murray Street Sewer Main Upgrade Project Phase 1 and Phase 2. This is a carryover from the last meeting.
Yeah, this was a carryover for the last meeting. It had been tabled, waiting for them to complete some compaction tests that need to be completed. Those tests are actually scheduled to be completed tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They're scheduled to come in here. The company that they have doing it come in early this week. We got samples of the materials, and they have proctors to actually have something to compare to when they do the tests. And we were in contact with the company, had a discussion about how they want to proceed with this tomorrow. So it's scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. And then I guess the other thing is here is these change orders here, the 2 options that we had provided last time in the council meeting, whichever one you guys preferred. But this will final out this thing, and like I said, it is a net decrease to the overall project.
What's the result, or what are we trying to do with this compaction test before we agree to change orders? What's the goal of that?
The goal is just verifying that the compaction is basically there. You know, we obviously was there, witnessed it, and we feel comfortable that it's there, but the thing about it is as a part of the requirement, they were actually have tests that actually just come in and said, hey, it did do it, not just needed, because, you know, over the years, I've had plenty of disagreements with the contractors out there in the field with over compaction or whatever, and I surely can't tell, you know, and the thing that they always do is they always do this and say, look, and I said, well, my heel's not calibrated, so I don't know if it's compacted or not. And so this is just backing up what we witnessed, that the compaction is actually there.
Okay, because I'm sure you, along every other councilman here, had one resident, maybe a guided tour of his issues. You know,
Yes.
so I seen it the day before I left for 10 days, and it was definitely a sinkhole there, so hopefully you will have that remedy.
Yes, no, all that stuff, you know, is being taken care of. And then when this next road project comes in, all that material basically, you know, there's 18 inches to 2 feet of material gets pulled out and recompacted with pit run material, so we'll all be able to tie and build a good base for that road project coming through there. And so one of the things I guess I'd like to clarify is the mayor asked me last time if there was actually a punch list out there. And I went back and I went to the office and days. So no, he didn't actually have a written punch list because there's nothing to really punch list because all the improvements are underground, we can't see them. We can't walk up the road and say, hey, the concrete's cracked, fix this, fix that. So the only thing that's actually on the surface that is visual right now is the water meters. And those water meters will all be adjusted with the next project that starts here shortly to grade. So I can't tell, hey, they're not grade or whatever. So that's, I want to make sure that's clarified.
Okay, on that compaction test coming on, who's paying for that?
The contractor.
The contractor? Okay, so it's not gonna be added or deleted on this change of these?
No, this is the final thing. And then the other thing that we have is we have the retention that we haven't released. And so my recommendation is I think that we probably should approve this change order if we can finalize out, you know, the building portion of this. And then we just don't release the retention until we get the records and all the paper back that we need associated with the compaction. And we got, I think the number when I left is $65,010, I think, in retention. So it's enough, they'll be back.
So which, again, I apologize for not being here last meeting.
Okay, the difference between the
One's
two.
for 82,000, one's for 85.
Okay, no, not a problem, not a problem. And so what this is based on going through and all the things that we ran into and changes and stuff that happened, and then coming in and looking at days beyond the project. And so one of these things is if we can count the total calendar days for that project, that would be the 85,000 or 86,000 decrease. If we went and, because their schedule is, they're working 4/10 on the project, and we don't actually count Saturdays and Sundays and holidays as far as delayed days, then it would be the 82,000. The difference is there.
Was there an opinion from our attorneys on how they count those days for the contract?
No, that hasn't come. The research I've looked into.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I mean, I think the contract probably comes in and says, hey, we can do calendar days. It's just what was proposed in here, says, do you want to do calendar days?
That's the change you're proposing in that.
I'm not proposing, I mean, that was just one of the things that had been discussed, and I just said, hey, I'm going to give it to the council, let them decide which option they want to go with.
At the last meeting, I actually moved on this, and then Councilman Carson had some issues with it, which is perfectly okay. The liquid, excuse me, the last meeting, I actually moved on this because after attending the utility board meeting, I kind of got the idea the consensus was to only count the actual days, not the weekends and holidays. So the change order would be 82,435, and that's kind of the way I interpreted what went on there. That's why I moved on. So Councilman Carson's okay with that. Which one?
I would agree with you, Ed.
Yeah. Then I'd like to entertain a motion to move, actually not entertain, but move to accept the change order.
Councilman, I have a
Yes,
question.
a question, please. The contractor is responsible for the test, so should anything go awry, or if the compaction is not what it should be, they have the total liability?
Yes,
There's an
yes,
issue
yeah,
with someone
we'll get it
done.
fixed, and then we have the 65,000 in retention that we hold until they get it fixed.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, I look at these two contracts, 82 and 85. If the contractor was happy to put out each one of each, I foresee him going to go for the 85,000. I mean, he was happy putting out one for 82. He's happy putting one out for 85. So why do we want to give away some money?
Those days were days that they couldn't work weekends and stuff, and we're billing them for the weekends. Not on the paper, and they're not actually out there working. And that's why the consensus was, calendar days, which is what was on there, instead of work days. But, it's what, about $3,500?
Yeah, that's different. So plus one. Yeah, 3,500.
Yeah, I just think it should, we don't count holidays and weekends, so that was my idea on that.
I hate to be redundant on this, I'll read to you, the 82,000 says, total of 33 calendar days, less the deduction of 9 days for weather conditions, unforeseen construction issues, 6 days for weekends, 1 day for Memorial Day. Okay, so here we are with the holiday, and they're a total of 33 calendar days, same wording, less deduction of 9 days, same wording. Only thing they're taking out of there is 1 day for Memorial Day and 6 days for a weekend. Now, okay, but who verified who was working when?
So if I could summarize this, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think the difference between the two is our contract, the way it's currently written, states calendar days,
Yes.
weekends, the whole thing.
Yes.
What they're proposing is to give the contractor a break, that they not count those weekends so that we're not trading dollars on liquidated damages. I don't think anybody was out there counting whether they were there or not. It's just when they do a construction contract, you have this many calendar days. They're proposing a change in this change order to that. Is that right?
I don't know that they're proposing a change. This has actually come from.
No, someone's proposing a change. We've got a change order. It's a
Well,
change.
I mean, I realize it's a change order, yes, and so we're just coming in and saying, hey, here's the options if you want to come in here and do this.
Okay.
You know, I have never actually been involved in any project with the city where we've actually had, that I recall, liquidated damages for anything. And so, you know, coming in here, trying to come in here, yes, we all realize that, you know, it was late and it's dragging on. And so this is kind of a new thing for me as well.
I don't know if that helps.
No, I know I'm going to vote, but you said something there that sort of just ruffles my feathers. Give the contractor a break. We're not here to give nobody a break. If we have a contract that needs to be stuck with, not after the fact. Which one of these contracts, change orders came across our desk first, the 82 or the 85?
I'm not sure. They came together.
They came together.
Okay, to me, again, if they felt good with the 85, they felt good with the 82. I'm not trying to be HA on this right here, but we're not giving nobody a break. This is taxpayers' money, and that's all I'm saying on it.
Given that, is there a motion for one way or the other on this? And would the motion be contingent upon the results of the compaction test? Is that appropriate, or does this one have one to do with the other?
I mean, I would come into a motion to approve this, and you might just put in the motion that we retain the retention until we get the compaction test results back and satisfactory.
You guys feel okay with that?
Yes.
Mayor Robertson?
Yes.
My understanding was Councilman Spear made a motion to approve the 82,000.
He didn't get through his motion
Okay.
because we
Just
had a
verify
question
that.
on the table and
Okay.
he held on. But if he'd like to continue with that motion, if someone would like to make another motion, that's entirely appropriate. I don't believe we have any motion on the table.
I'll second my original motion that we approve the change order for the $82,435. I think it's only fair, even though it does say calendar days. They weren't working on weekends, because I watched I'm up there every day in the Mill Street. They didn't work, maybe they should have put a lot of overtime in, but they didn't. So I'm still going to stick with the 82,000.
So we have a motion from Councilman Spear. Do we have a second? Second from Councilwoman Williams-Parker. Any further discussion?
One question for the attorney, if this motion fails, can we go up to the other option?
What other option?
The
85.
Oh, right. The motion has already been seconded, so it hasn't failed. It would be voted down.
Yeah, so, I mean, we could have discussion now, see. Yeah.
We can come back.
We'd be able to.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
2 ayes. 3 ayes. All opposed? 3-0 with names from Councilman Allworth and Councilman Carson. Item 7, items for discussion and possible action only via the City Council, the consent agenda. We have minutes from the 24th and 29th, and bills from July 9th. I'll entertain a motion to approve the entire consent agenda.
No, I got a question, maybe it's taken. On page 6, keep getting going. On page 6, we're talking about the quarter meetings, and it says the councilman first stated, I felt comfortable with how the lieutenant governor's office handled the conference call we recently had. I don't remember ever saying that because I've never had a conference call with the lieutenant governor's office. We had a conference call with the Porter Group and Senators Rosen and Maestas, Cortez Maestas, and that's what we had a conversation with. So I did say that it's totally wrong because we never had a conversation about this particular thing with the lieutenant governor's office, the Porter Group, and our 2 senators.
Is that a motion to approve with those amendments?
Mr. Mayor, I have a disclosure on the bills. I disclosed I was a member of the Volunteer Fire Department for 36 years, been active November 18, 2019. I abstained from approving any payments to the Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay, so because of what we have here, I guess we'll break this up a little bit and we'll do one for the minutes. If you'd like to approve the minutes with that amendment, Councilman Stewart.
I move to approve the minutes as changed.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Allworth. All in favor for approval of the minutes for June 24th and June 29th?
All right.
Any opposed? Well, we're going to take care of the bills second here. Then we'll do a motion to approve the bills with the noted abstention from Councilman Allworth. Anyone want to make a motion? Move to approve the bills from Councilman Spear. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Carson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. B old business, Mayor Robertson, discussion for possible action, approval for mayor, city council members, and city clerk to attend the Nevada League of Cities and Municipalities 2021 annual conference, August 25th to the 27th, 2021, to be held in Sparks. We will be attending. Clerk Lee, will you be attending that?
I may be, I haven't decided for sure yet.
Okay. Would the council like to make a motion? Councilman Allworth, anybody else? Councilwoman Williams Harper. So that would be a motion for the clerk, the mayor, and 2 members of the council. Is everybody on board with that? Do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? And if you'll work with Clerk Lee, she'll get you set up on how we register all of that. Item 2, Councilman Spear, discussion for possible action, approval of priority list for City of Ely's first tranche payment, 50% of final allocation of American Rescue Plan funding in the amount of $2,682,259.03. So this is a draft priority list here.
Right, and we talked about prioritizing this, and I've looked at this quite a lot. I think all these are very, very important, but one of the things that I noticed, and I did notice, I've been watching television quite a bit. I watch the news, which gives me heartburn more than not. But a couple of things that I've seen in this country, and it's all over, not only all 50 states, is the fact that the cost of childcare and daycare, because of the COVID restrictions, has made it almost impossible for single or low to medium income families to put their kids in this. I think the national average for child care, like the Magic Carpet Preschool, was a little over $9,000 a year prior to COVID, and it's sitting well over $18,000 a year today. So I think that we need to move that up on this higher priority along with our small businesses, because at that type of cost, job force. There's a couple of problems I have with thinking about that, because I think my thought was that perhaps we could offset the cost of the COVID restrictions, the sanitation, the masks, or whatever that's required, so that preschools, there's a couple of schools out there, daycare, that are in the same boat to make it affordable, but one of the things that bother me, and what I want to talk about a little bit right now, is that once this $5 million runs out, we'll get the second tranche payment in the next 1 year from this one, and we have until December 31st, 2024 to spend it. If these schools and some of these businesses that we are helping, how that's going to back out of that? Once this is gone, they're going to drive the prices right back up, or maybe it's going to be different restrictions. I don't know. I mean,
if I might make a suggestion to the council on this item, I think they've done some great work on this draft list. If they would approve this draft list with those amendments that you're talking about here, and then item 16 is for the council to kind of decide how we get this list whittled down and amounts and things like that to get it actually done, and then come back to the next council. So I think approving the draft list and then deciding how you want to kind of make the working gears of this go would probably be a wise idea.
okay, the ones that I wanted to see move a little closer to the top was definitely the Magic Carpet, the Boys and Girls Club, the cash program, which is essential in this community. And then the funding for our small businesses, especially all of them. It's the hair salons, barber shops, bars, restaurants. More of them guys are not yet are double targeted. And they're independent contractors, basically, the way I look at it. And we just shut not we, but the governor and us, because we follow those restrictions, we shut them down totally. So I'm not even sure these people had unemployment insurance because they're private contractors. My guess is they didn't. So I think those are the ones that are impacted the most and the hardest. They should be on the top of our list. That's all I have.
If it's would that be a motion to approve this with those amendments? Or does
Yes,
somebody
I
else
also
want
want to
to
jump in.
add?
I have one question, maybe Councilman Spear might be able to enlighten me on the Great Basin Service Club and the cancellation of the 4th of July parade in 2020.
Well, what happened there is the Great Basin Service Club purchases their insurance required by NDOT to hold that parade. And it's a year insurance, so they lost, when we canceled the 4th of July parade, that insurance is already paid. And the insurance companies don't refund. So they're out that actual money. And I don't know what the actual dollar was. I know there was some, I didn't go to the service club's meeting, but I know that they lost 900 and something bucks that quick. And the other one, the Soap Stick Classic, we can document every bit of that because they canceled them 2 races, and that's the same thing. You still maintain the website, you still maintain the office here in Ely. They just barely moved that office here to Ely from Las Vegas, where it's always been, and it's in, well, it was a Larry Dutton building, now it belongs to holy crap.
Mark Van Tassel.
Pardon me?
Van Tassel.
I knew that too. But anyway, so but on these, I think when we get down to 16, Kurt, and you start looking at these particular events, and there's other events that we need to have show some type of a financial loss. To where, okay, you guys spent $22,000, or you spent $9,900, or you lost $25,000, which was in the paper for the horse races. We need to document that. I think when we start sending this into